This probably was their best episode of The Real Housewives of Dubai because maybe we weren't talking about the voice note, and I'm ready to move on from that, but did not expect a Mina Rowe drama or Brooks making a big deal about Lesa doing an event at another spa versus doing it at her spa. We're going to unpack that and, of course, so much more. And if you missed it, we did do a separate live show and with callers talking about the reunion fashions that came out yesterday for the Real Housewives of Dubai Season 2 reunion. So if you missed that, we'll be posting a link somewhere in here so that you guys can check it out and let us know your rating of the fashions from their reunion. Also, be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Dubai. Next week is their season finale, and then we have their reunion.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, be sure to share the video, and be sure to subscribe because it is the subscribers only live chat. So it feels like we just talked about the Real Housewives of Dubai, and we did because we just talked about their reunion fashions. Again, if you missed it, be sure to check out the separate video that we did talking about the reunion fashions. And I have to say, the ladies really did bring it. And I think it was perfect timing for them to have a really great episode because I felt like they brought it with those reunion looks. I love the cohesiveness. I mean, yes, we had some people that are our favorites more than others. However, for the most part, overall, the cast looked great. But you guys will let me know what were your favorites. All right. Oh, I forgot to open my notes. So let me open my notes for this episode. And I wasn't going to take notes, but I'm glad that I did because this episode, it probably was my favorite episode of the season. I don't know about anyone else. And I know a lot of people have been saying, I don't understand why no one's watching Dubai. The ratings should be a lot higher. Dubai is giving us Miami drama. They are doing a good job. And I told you, I think it's a good season, but giving it comparisons to Miami, I'm like, that's a stretch. That's definitely a stretch, especially because Miami has given us 3 fantastic seasons or back to back. And I know you're asking, when are they coming back? Soon. They're definitely coming back. I think because of the scheduling issues that Bravo has had this season, this year, I should say, that is part of the reason why they've pushed Miami back. But there's just so much happening with Miami, like in real time. But okay, fine. But this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Dubai really kind of gave me, was like, if this is the future of Dubai, I can get with it. It was a great episode. Like I said, probably their best episode this season for me. And I get it. Some of you getting your feelings like, no, it wasn't. That wasn't a good episode. That's your opinion. This is my channel. This is my opinion. If you want to have your opinion, you open up a channel and you share your opinion. And look, we're okay with you sharing your opinion, but it's all about how you share your opinion. You can share your opinion without being like, you're wrong. I can't be wrong when it's my opinion. That is how I experienced the episode. I thought it was a great episode. I probably, dare I say, give it an 8.5, 9. I thought it was a really, really good episode. It was a mix of drama, a mix of fun, a mix of funny. And a lot of stuff happened in the episode, and some stuff I just didn't care about. So we will briefly go over those things that I just didn't care about. We're looking at you, Sarah. And I'm not talking about we didn't care about you. Your storyline with Akeem at this point, I'm over it. And word on the street, that relationship is over anyway. So that's not even word on the street. You confirmed that in an interview. So it's sort of like, I mean, like, we hope good things for you. And Sarah has dated some sexy men. But maybe your criteria for your men in the future shouldn't be sexy, and it should be depth. And someone that is so deep, you would think that that's what her goal would be. But Sarah, based off the men that we have associated you with, they've been very good looking men with not a lot to offer you in reality. And we want the best for Maktouk. Look, you thought I was going to say we want the best for Sarah? No, we want the best for her son. And for Sarah. Look, and for Sarah. All right, let me start from the top. Let me start from that. Hold on, let me put a little... I don't have any of my lip stuff in here. Besides my... Okay. All right. Shout out to our friends over at Rose Forever. They're sponsoring today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Dubai. You know I love me some Rose Forever. It's throughout my house. It's been throughout my houses. It's now throughout this apartment. And Rose Forever always has a great deal. Roses that will last you at least a year. When you look at the price and the price, they're having sales going on right now. If you look at that and you're like, well, these will last me a lot longer. If you go to your local florist, you're like, it's a lot more money for roses that will not last you 2 weeks. Check out Rose Forever right now in the description to our referral link. And yes, they ship worldwide. So if you are watching in the Caribbean, if you're watching in Europe, if you're watching in Africa, I think, be sure to check out roseforever.com. All right. Where do we begin? Caroline Stanbury with her parents. First of all, her mother is gorgeous, and she's aged like in a graceful way. And look, that's not a shot at Caroline Stanbury, because to be honest with you, Caroline Stanbury, that lower lift that you did took so many years off of your I would say your life, but no, took so many years off of your age, and it looks good. That's some good work. Okay. So she's talking with her parents about her parents are there because her sons had a bar mitzvah. And that's where we learned that Caroline Stanbury's father is Jewish. Her mother is not. Her grandparents are Jewish. And so I get, she said at one point before the war, they were Steinberg, not Stanbury. I was like, oh, that's so fascinating. So fascinating. I don't know if we knew from Ladies of London that her parents were Jewish. I'm probably we did. I can't remember that far back. Anyways, so she talks more about how different she is in Dubai. She's like, aren't I more relaxed in Dubai and more relaxed here? And her mother agrees, like, yeah, you're definitely a lot more relaxed. It leads to a conversation about boarding school, the benefits of boarding school. And she says, I'm not going to punish my parents for sending me to boarding school. As you know, she's talked about how boarding school pretty much traumatized her. All right. And her mother in this particular instance is like, yes, that's what people did back then. I think people still do that today if you're rich and have money in the UK, just saying. But her mother also justifies, well, it teaches you self-independence and things like that. And Caroline Stanbury is just like, I'm not going to argue with her and I'm not going to punish her because that is just who they were at that time. Sounds like they wouldn't change the way they did it. If they're raising your children right now, they probably do the same. Just saying. And I wonder how Caroline Stanbury is raising her kids now. I know they're in Dubai with her, but I wonder if they had went off to boarding school at some point as well. Probably. Stanbury wanted to remind us that she's rich. She's like, this is what rich people did back in the day. If you had money, you sent your children off to boarding school. This leads into a conversation about Sergio wanting children. And she says she feels bad because he's the only boy in his family and he wants his name to carry on. And she makes the excuse of, right now I'm in the middle of a home renovation. Y'all still renovating this home? So she's making this excuse of like, she doesn't want to do that while she's doing this. But she does feel bad for Sergio, and she wants to give this to Sergio. Do we really believe that this is going to happen? First of all, if this is not a real okay, I know I keep saying it's not a real relationship. It doesn't feel real to me. I just don't feel like this is. First of all, Sergio needs to grow up a little bit because he conducts himself as a baby. I always refer to him as the baby husband. So it's hard for me to take him seriously as a father of anything. And that's probably why the daughter doesn't respect him either. She's like, who are you talking to? Okay. Look, all right. All right. So we have our Mina Rose skincare event. Lesa arrives early to, get everything set up. Mina Rose decal is everywhere. I think they did a really good job decorating the place. Sarah tells us that this is where we saw Sarah when she was getting her healing. This was the Heart and Soul location in Dubai. And she says she doesn't even recognize the place because Mina Rose, decal is everywhere. And she's like, that's Lesa. She's over the top. I just feel like, first of all, I'm sure producers love the fact that Lesa Milan is over the top because they want, for Dubai specifically, they want this over the top, throwing a big party with your branding everywhere. But in real life, this is what a lot of other people would do. If you're hosting an event for the launch of a new product or a new business, you want your logo everywhere, especially if it's going to be featured on television. But even if it isn't featured on television, you want your logo everywhere. And honestly, I have to give Lesa and her team credit for how they did it because it looked like it was a Mina Rose spa. It was actually tasteful and not tacky. Just because it could have been tacky. It could have been everywhere, like I did on the thumbnail. For those that saw the thumbnail, like it could have been tacky, like my thumbnail, but it wasn't. It was very classy. She had gift bags for the ladies. She had a yoga plan. She even incorporated Taleen. Taleen actually offered it. She's like, I do all my work stuff. Taleen wanted to have a moment. And the fact that she gave you that moment, Taleen, I just thought about this now. The fact that she gave you this moment to promote your fitness and to not just promote your fitness to the women, to promote it on the show. Because she could have easily X'd you out. And instead, you decided to go ride for Brooks, who's thrown you under a bus since the beginning of the season. I get it, you guys are in a better place, but you didn't need to be her bodyguard in this particular moment. I like the fact that you went to Lesa and says, yeah, there's something going on, but I think you guys should have a conversation. That is how you should have rolled this out instead of trying to be her mouthpiece, Brooks's mouthpiece. Brooks has a big enough mouth of her own to be her own mouthpiece. And if you go back to that scene, look at Brooks's face. She was loving it. Brooks, you are such an instigator. You are such an instigator. Like you've been this way since season 1 and you continue to be this way on the show and off the show. All right. So the ladies start arriving. Ion, what the hell was on your head? I'm going to pretend like I've never seen a wig like this before. Of course we have. We literally have seen this wig on Dr. Melody Cherie Rogers on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And we made fun of her too. Ion, you are never going to get these fans off your neck when it comes to your wigs. I said, what is on Ion's head? I saw the preview last week and I mentioned it in our previous recap, but I said, what is on her head? I was so confused. But she was very excited to get massages. She's like, you're paying for it? Really? Sidebar, did you guys, because all you guys always saying, how come we never see Ion's home? We literally see Ion and Taj doing some sort of TikTok dance in her apartment in Dubai. So, because I just want to point that out. And that's not the first time we've seen Ion film in her home. So I always find it interesting. People, maybe because they don't show you the outside. I mean, they did show the outside this episode. But if she lives in an apartment building, which is not uncommon, I guess that's part of the reason why, because we see the other housewives have like houses. They don't live in apartment buildings. But remember, Nina Ali, the place that she was buying, that wasn't an apartment building, but she was building out like the floor and things like that. So I wanted to point that out because it was such a brief moment. And of course, that narrative of, they never show Ion's home. They were showing her home this week. All right, but we didn't get a scene in there, like a full scene in there. All right. Um all right. So they end up doing for the launch, they do Taleen's yoga, and they flash back to the scene where Taleen offered her services to Lisa, and she's like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Let's do that." So they end up doing the yoga. What the hell was Ion doing? Like, part of me is like, is she doing this for comedy effect, or is she really this awkward? Because she couldn't do any of the yoga moves. Like, I thought she was gonna break something the way that she was doing it. But everyone was like, "Oh my god, what are we doing right now?" Brooks was like, "Why are we doing yoga for a maternity line? And why are we at a spa that isn't your spa, but you're acting like it's your spa with all these decals everywhere? And I own a spa. Why didn't you do it at my spa?" Okay. Look, all right. I mean, she brings up a valid point, but I always tell you guys the fights that we see on the show are never really about what they're talking about. It's about the show. Did Brooks want to have another scene at her spa to bring in business? Of course. She's a businesswoman. That's smart. You would want that. So she probably wants to say that, but she can't say that. She wants to just say, like, you could have had it at my spa. And yes, she would have done it for free. But where were Lisa and Brooks's relationship at this particular point? Yes, I know they're buddy buddy now, and I think that's for convenience. Um, but at this particular point, were they even close enough to be doing something like that or collabing in that way? Who knows? Who knows? Didn't seem like it. Didn't seem like it. So Brooks is making comments to other people about this at the event. All right. Lisa catches up with Sarah in regards to her son and what's going on with her son. Lisa, I was a little uncomfortable, and I guess because anytime we talk about people's children and how you raise your child versus someone else, and I know you personally, and I agree. Like, I don't know if I would have told Maktouk about the kidnapping stuff, because that can be traumatic. Because Sarah says he can't sleep at night because he's always thinking these men are going to come and kidnap him. And I think Sarah's style of raising Maktouk is a little different. And she does give him or treat him almost like her friend and like he's a man versus him being an actual boy. And these are those moments where he reminds you, I'm a child. So I was a little uncomfortable. Was it last week or the previous? It was previous week, where she was talking about this in detail in front of him. And I get it, you want him to be aware, but at the same time, I think you could have fed him this information with a filter, because I know in your head you want him to have transparency. But with that being said, he's still a child. And I'm not saying that children shouldn't know about these things, but children are also very sensitive to things. And the fact that he can't sleep at night now, and now he has this anxiety, and now he's sort of forced to grow up because of this. I get where Lisa's coming from. I just didn't love Lisa's delivery. I loved Lisa's delivery in the confessional. I didn't love her delivery to Sarah in the moment, because it felt a little judgy instead of supportive. You get what I'm saying? This is what I talk about twerking on a fence, because I can see both sides of it. Okay? Anyways, so Ion and Lisa have a conversation about Stanbury, and this is where Lisa admits that she's jealous of her friendship with Stanbury. But we knew this already, right? Lisa has made comments throughout the season and even last season about Stanbury and this growing friendship that's been happening. And Ion's like, "Oh, you're admitting this. You're admitting this," because Ion will say, how everything played out, I didn't love it, but since they've been back, they've been in a better place, her and Stanbury. Okay. The Mina Row event looked. Look, I love a spa. And I already knew when Brooks mentioned, and look, I'm gonna give Brooks some credit, because this could have just been a wonderful event. But Brooks, like the instigator that she is, caused a stir. She caused a stir. She started a new drama for us to focus on. And that's Brooks upset. Brooks is upset that the fact that Lisa didn't have her Mina Row event at her spa. It's petty, but it's perfect. It's not so toxic, even though we know Brooks can be very toxic. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Dubai. Latest episode next week is their season finale. And if you missed it, we did talk about their reunion looks yesterday in a separate video. So be sure to check that out. Go give it a like, go give it a comment, and a rating of all of their looks. And don't forget to follow us on social media, on TikTok, on Twitter, and on Instagram at TheKempire, and on Twitch. Hey, Twitch, we appreciate you guys following as well at TheKempire. More information on that will be available in the description. All right. We have this separate scene with Sarah and Saba. Sarah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this scene just because we have so much more to talk about. Clearly, we already know this relationship is over. You're not happy with Akeem and how Akeem is trying to control you and this relationship. It didn't work out. I'm so checked out of this relationship. I, again, will remind everyone and production, I prefer seeing Sarah have fun with her son than trying to force feed it. I will say this, and I know a lot of people like, oh, why do people feel like beautiful women have to hire men to be on the show? Because I feel like, although production might not say it, I think people are self-producing and they think that this is going to add to their storyline. I did blah blah blah. Didn't care. Look, Akeem was cute for the moment. Oh, beautiful man, beautiful giraffe man. At this point, I don't care. We know it doesn't work out. It doesn't even feel authentic at this point when we're talking about it. Let's talk about why you and Saba fell out. Let's talk about that. I mean, at this particular point, they haven't fallen out. But Saba shows herself to be a really good friend and every time she films with Sarah, she definitely seems like she's supportive of Sarah. Oh my goodness, Saba. Saba was bragging to the ladies on WhatsApp that she's a fantastic golf player, only to come and play golf and look like a fool. Speaking of golf, Taleen hosts this golf trip up with all the couples, which I appreciated. We had a group event with just the ladies, and then we have a golf event with the ladies and their significant others, their husbands. Okay, so Taleen's hosting this event, and again, we have another funny moment between Ayan and Lesa. So they're driving the golf carts, and Ayan's like, "Let me drive it." Immediately, she pulls out and she crashes. She talked about like, "Yeah, I really shouldn't be. I don't like to drive. I get really distracted." I don't even think she has a license. So is she able to be driving the golf cart? Did she say she had a license or didn't have a license? Anyways, and Lesa, as soon as she crashes, Lesa gets out of the car and she's like, "I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again. Let me drive." And she's like, "I'm not giving you." She's like, "You can't just do that over one chance. One chance." So she crashes some more before they get to their destination. Okay. All right. So what else happened in this event? All right. Oh, so Lesa goes up to, so the group goes to golf. First of all, Ayan, what the hell were you wearing? Look, there are moments where Ayan gives us some really great fashion, over the top couture. This was just ugly. This was just ugly. And I think what happens is that Ayan leans into like, I'm always bringing couture. I'm always bringing couture. And if you saw our recap of the reunion fashions, we said she gives us this reunion look, and she gives us reunion looks throughout the season, it falls flat for us when we get to a reunion where you're supposed to, and it's not as great as some of your other looks. So I feel like next season, Ayan, I mean, look, be you, but I think you can still give us great fashion and not do couture every moment. And even in these particular moments when you could just really dress down, like dress down. You know, even Lesa does that. She dresses down. Like she'll give us that fashion moment, then she'll dress down. She'll dress the part of when you're playing golf. Only Lesa and Taleen look like they dressed for and Brooks look like she dressed for golf. It was really just Ayan. Like, where are you going? Like, where are you going? All right. The husbands, of course, love golf. They played. Saba swore that she could play golf, and then we saw that she really could not. Saba had a really cute golf outfit on too, but she really could not. So Lesa goes up to Taleen because Lesa heard that Brooks had an issue in regards to the spa services and things like that. So Taleen, and honestly, I was like, this is exactly how you should handle it, Taleen. She's like, I don't really want to get involved, but Brooks was a little upset about you using this spa versus her own spa. Okay. And Lisa was just like, what? And we find out later, and I'm not surprised by this because I kind of thought it myself, that Lisa's like, Brooks doesn't even take services from her own salon. Like, and I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. But anyways, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So the ladies leave the men to play golf, and they go to have a drink. And so Lesa confronts Brooks about her issue, about not hosting at the spa. And honestly, Brooks and Lesa pretty much squashed it very quickly. It was Taleen chiming in that was weird. Taleen basically said that, well, Brooks called me very upset about Lesa you utilizing the spa. We found out from Lesa that at the end, when she was, clearing all, the services with the spa, that Brooks said that she did not want to take any of the services. It was a conflict of interest. Brooks. Brooks was doing the most. She was doing the most. She could have clearly enjoyed the spa. I'm sure there are spa owners that enjoy other spas. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. But I'm sure she'll be on Spaces explaining the professional. Okay, girl, you could have enjoyed your friend's event. Okay, she was hosting an event. You could have enjoyed the spa. I can understand you being a little upset and making an issue of it. It's a petty issue. Why not make it? It's for reality television. Make it an issue with Lesa. Like, but you guys quickly deaded it. But you put the battery in Taleen's back. No, I don't think you need to put the battery in Taleen's back. I think clearly Taleen wanted to have a moment. And I did find it interesting though, Taleen. You had a lot to say about Ion's event. You had a lot to say about Lisa's event. It's giving pressed. It's giving, like, I don't understand why you always have to have this commentary. It's one thing if you're going to defend your friend, Brooks, in regards to how she was feeling, like how she was defending you at the top of the season. But it's another thing to talk about Mina Rowe being everywhere. And she's like, oh, it's probably on my, on my butt. She said something else, but I'll just say butt. It was just sort of like, okay, it's one thing to defend your friend, but it's another thing to shade, the fact that she had her decal everywhere in the business, in this business. I was like, but here I go twerking on fence. Do I think that Lesa should have given her the level of fever that she gave her and calling her the B word and things like that, which it is a trend. Because remember the last fight that Taleen and Lesa had, she called her the B word, and I was like, "Ooh, come, all right, we don't have to go there. No one's name calling." But like I said, this is what twerking on a fence. For those that are new here, this is what I mean by twerking on a fence. Because I can see where Lisa's coming from. Like, why are you chiming in? This is an issue between me and Brooks. And now all of a sudden you have it's not like she's defending Brooks. She's just talking about the event and talking and shading an event that she brought you in to be a part of. So I just find it interesting that you took this particular stance instead of just not saying anything at all. Or you could have said, I will say this, Lesa. Brooks did call me and she was very upset and she was very emotional about it. And I felt for her. But no, you decided to shade the decal being everywhere. And Lesa had to remind you, she's like, you don't have a business. When you have a business, then you'll understand. And Taleen's like, I do have a business. Okay. Do we have a logo? Do we have a name of that business, Taleen? Just saying. But I agree with her. If you were to host a Taleen's Fitness whatever, and you were hosting at a gym or of some sort, then that's exactly what you should do as well. You should brand it like it's yours, or a collaboration with whatever gym or location. People do it all the time. But here we are. Here we are. So it gets really heated. Although it ended with Brooks and Lesa being good, it gets heated between Lesa and Taleen. And Stanbury is like, I'm going to go over here and get some more champagne. Because nothing I can say on either side is going to be good for me. I'm just going to. She's like, if I could leave right now, I wish I could. Okay, all right. So it gets really heated between Taleen and Lesa. And mind you, you see Chanel Ion defending her friend, like, if you had a business, and she's just shaking her head, and then the camera just goes on Ion shaking her head. I was like, okay, all right, to show emphasis. All right, she had her friends back. She had her friends back. All right. So then we get these separate scenes with Lesa telling Rich about what happened. The full Jamaican came out. She said, "This gal." Stanbury tells Sergio about what happened. She's like, "I am just so glad I had no part in it." Taleen is telling Ralphie about it. All right. For me, though, my favorite part was seeing Lesa go full patois. Like, she was going in on Taleen and her having something to say about this Mina Rowe event. So everyone gets ready for this dinner, okay? And everyone arrives with their different outfits. We have Chanel giving us a beautiful outfit. Everyone looked really great. I was like, where are you guys going? I thought we were just going to a casual dinner. No, everyone dressed up. Even Brooks. Brooks doesn't even have on her corporate suits. Look, she doesn't even have on her corporate suits. You have been promoted. Okay, anyways, I had to do it. I had to do it. Shout out to Boston CEO. But no, I have to give it to Brooks. Brooks, your reunion look yesterday, fantastic. Your look at this dinner, it was, the black gave a little bit like, where are we going? But, it was still gorgeous. I will say Saba and Sarah looked really, really good. Lisa looked really, really good. Stanbury, your hair and makeup this season have been questionable. I'm not just saying that because I was accosted by your makeup artist. It has been questionable, but I will give you, since the underlift, and you've really stepped up your fashion game since then. Hopefully you fired whoever you had doing your stuff before. Anyways, moving on. So Sarah suggests playing a game. And then I thought to myself, I was like, wait, there's like 3 single people at this table. I was like, this is awkward to have like a couple's trip and a few single people there. No one has mentioned that, huh? Okay. So Sarah suggests to play this game. And they ask, what was your partner's nickname as a kid? I will give it to Sergio. I thought it was funny. Sergio was like, I wasn't alive. I mean, he's not lying. He's not lying. And then they ask about, their sex and things like that. Rich was just like, I know she wants it to be 10 minutes, but it ends up being longer. And she was like, Lisa's face, she was like, more like 5 minutes. I want it to be like 5 minutes. But I found it interesting. Chanel and Lesa and Taleen's, no. Chanel, Lesa, and, well, I'll just say Chanel and Lesa, their husbands wanted to be they know that their wives wanted to be shorter, but it ends up being a lot longer. Taleen talked about Ralphie, and it seems as if he completely doesn't get, they're not on the same page at all in regards to her answer. And then Sergio, first of all, Sergio, you're way too young to be talking about being a minute and a half. Like, we're talking about these other men that are probably in their 40s, and we're looking at you. You're young, and you talking about it's a minute. Again, why I'm like, I don't believe that these two are really in a real relationship. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't know what the end game is here, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Anyways, Ion has a side conversation with Brooks about the situation with Lesa, the spa, and things like that. And Aya says, if it feels like you're being jealous. She says it feels like it's jealousy. So Lesa points out, because then Lesa overhears the conversation, and Lesa points out, like, you don't even use your spa services. And I can't remember if in that moment Brooks had a response, because Brooks looked like she was like a deer in headlights. Brooks, of course, in her confessional, she's like, well, I had a glam team before I had Glass House, so I didn't want to, fire them. Girl, because I remember when you were talking about Glass House in your spaces, and you said, now that I have my own spa, I'm going to have I'll be able to get my hair and everything done all the time. So I guess that wasn't true. And mind you, a lot of people dragged you for your wigs and things like that last season. So you made it seem as if you weren't going to use this glam team anymore. And I need to go back to your previous reunion glam team if it was the same folks. I don't think it was. But maybe it was, and I'm sure she will respond. It was Kempire. Okay. All right. Calm down. Calm down. Take a breather. Relax, relate, release. Relax, relate, release. But I'm so glad that Lesa pointed it out, because I was thinking to myself, does Brooks even use her own spa? Just saying. But Lesa calls around. She's like, you don't even use your spa, okay? And then Taleen's like, I'm not getting involved. I was called a bitch. I was called a bitch one too many times. And Lesa was just like, she's like, well, stop acting like one. Here's the thing. I felt like Taleen, you could have just not gotten involved in that moment. You could have been like, I'm not getting involved, and just left it at that. But then you decided to be like, well, I was called a bitch and da 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 da. And not to say that you should have been called one. No. I do feel like, Lesa, you went a little too far with that. But then it leads to them getting into another heated argument about it. And they go back and forth, and the husbands are there. But what I found to be interesting at the end of the episode, Ion says, I do feel like Lesa was going a little too far, like she was doing too much, but I'm not going to say that in front of the group. And how do you guys feel about that? Because remember, that was part of their issue before. And based off the season finale that we're going to see next week, things get heated between Lesa and Ion yet again. So something has been brewing. Something has been brewing. We shall see what sets this relationship off yet again. But we've seen this last couple of episodes, these two really haven't healed whatever caused their issue. Okay? But I will agree. It felt like I get Lesa being upset, but I do feel like Lesa was like really getting Taleen. But maybe there's more that we haven't seen. But based off of the edit, it feels like, okay, we get it. Taleen just should mind her business. But it felt like the venom, like your horns came out for Taleen. And even Rich was like, calm down. Like, let's just end it. Let's just end it. So, and also because the husbands are there and in the middle of this stuff, and it's awkward because the husbands want to defend their wives. So I can see that being a very awkward situation for all the husbands. If you look at Ralphie during that situation, he's in between Taleen and Lesa, and he's just like, and we don't want to see what happened at Stanbury's birthday party happen in this particular moment. But for me, this was a really great episode. But for me, this was a really great episode. I don't know about anyone else. I thought this was a superb episode. It was a good mix of drama, a good mix of events and vacations. And I think it was Taleen that mentioned when they did this staycation in Dubai. I think that's what people love about Dubai, is that they don't really need to go on a group trip out of the UAE, because it's sort of like an adult playground in Dubai. And that's literally what they're doing with this whole golf trip. This golf trip is a staycation. They're still in Dubai, but it's an overnight trip with all the couples. I don't know. I think this was a good episode, guys. How would you rate this episode of the Real Housewives of Dubai from 1 to 10? Did you watch our Real Housewives of Dubai season 2 reunion fashion recap yesterday? If you haven't, we will post the link in the description, but also in the live chat, so you can check it out. Go give it a like, go give it a comment. Don't forget, in the description, you can also get information on our friends over at Rose Forever, so you can get a little something for your new home, your new space, or if you just want to freshen up your new space. Shipping is available worldwide. More information will be available in the description. And anything else in regards to Kempire merch, you know, all the things are available there. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. And of course, shout out to our subscribers and those of you that are watching in the bushes. Hey, Brooks. Anyways, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your hump day. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. What the hell? What the hell?
Say, feel that bass. We gon' shake up this place. Say, pick up that pace. Yeah, we got no time to waste. Everybody say, feel that bass. Yeah, we gon' shake up this place. Pick up that pace. Yeah, we got no time to waste. Say, dreams to chase. Yeah, we ain't losing this race. Say, we got faith. We know what it's gonna take. Ain't nobody gotta do for me what I do when I do it so beautifully. All I gotta stay is true to me. Yeah, stay winning is a mood to me. Hey, ain't nobody gotta do for me. Yep, what I do when I do it so beautifully. All I gotta stay is true to me. Say what? Stay winning is a mood to me. Hey, I said. When I do it so beautifully, all I gotta stay is true to me. Yep, stay winning is a mood to me. Hey, ain't nobody gotta do for me. Yep, what I do when I do it so beautifully, all I gotta stay is true to me. Yep, stay winning is a mood to me. Hey, I said feel